Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in again. So for today's video, we're back with another performance reaction. So just like last time, we're gonna go through video and I'm just gonna give my thoughts on what I think makes it a good performance and if there's anything that I might do differently, if there's just something that I don't vibe with. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get right into it. So for today's video, we're going to be reacting to JUN's Psycho, the performance video, because I've already watched the music video like a million times. It's a great music video and it's a great song, so y'all should go stream. Anyways, yeah, so the snippets of Corey that we got in the music video were really cool and I'd love to see more of it. I just want to see the whole performance. So yeah, I'm excited to dive in and to give my thoughts and to just see what it's all about and if there's anything deeper to the choreography and to the performance in general. Yeah, so let's get into it. And that's such a like strong starting image. I don't know why. It's very simple but effective. I'm sorry. That little smirk at the camera. Mr. JUN. Okay, no, I need to stop. Let's keep going. He's engaging with the camera a lot. Okay, that's the second time they've done that. I love the kind of isolated movements like that leg split. Ooh, outfit change! Okay, that camera movement where he's like, I don't even know how to explain it. But yeah, so far I'm really liking how this is filmed. I don't know why, I just do. When he's like moving towards the camera, like doing his little glidey thing, but the camera like punches in. I think that part was so impactful. It packed such a punch. It went really well with the music. I don't know how to explain it properly, but that was a really cool moment. Other things I'm noticing so far, they do a lot of like this, and he has a lot of like very specific facial expressions when he does like this, and it's, I don't know, it gives me like a coming out from behind the mask type of vibe. So there's a lot of that kind of imagery going on. I love this outfit and I'm not gonna say more on that. That was a really cool transition, that match cut, how they matched on the movement. This is also a really snazzy outfit. Also, another thing I'm noticing is that he's very intentional with his gaze. And sorry, I got lost in it. Okay, Mr. Actor. Like, you don't need to pop off on us like that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, he's very intentional with his gaze. And by that I mean like he's choosing very specific moments to make eye contact with the camera. Where you look is important because it gives a kind of directness and intentionality to whatever it is you're doing. So in this case, the dance. So yeah, he shifts pretty consistently between direct and indirect, and the way he does that is with his gaze. Yeah, when he's direct, he's looking dead into camera. When he's indirect, he's looking away from the camera. He's looking down. He's not making eye contact with any particular person and or thing. So yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say on that. Let's go back a little bit because I want to see that moment where he goes with the laughing part. But yeah, JUN performance just blew it out of the water. Like, he sells the Psycho. So yeah, we're gonna watch that again. Also, another thing I've noticed is that there's something about when they're like rolling forward with when their hands back here. When he did like he did one of those. That's a good way of continuing movement, because you could just do it like that, and he does. But then throwing your head back like that, it just adds a little bit of spice to it, and I love it. Sorry, the gremlin in me is like trying to break free, which makes sense. I mean, we're talking about psychos here, so anyways, let's get back to it. Yeah, see, he engages the neck and the head. The way he flipped from like uncontrolled laughter to dead serious. That kind of like change, instantaneous change, is really difficult, and it's hard to pull off well. I don't want to say only talented actors can do it, but it takes a certain amount of skill and talent to pull something like that off. So props to Jun. Ooh. Okay, something about this section is like making me feel uneasy. And I don't know if it's the music or the camera movements. Okay. And there's that gaze again. Oh! Alright, Slay King. Okay, so I thought the choreography was really cool before. Now I think it's just absolutely spectacular. Every time I listen to the song, every time I watch the music video, now that I've watched the performance video, like every time I'm just more and more amazed with Jun's talent and ability. Like, anyways, yeah, let's cut it there and let's do some thoughts. Okay, so thoughts. I loved it. No, but seriously, I did. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I rewatched the video and I watched the dance practice as well. There's a lot of specific imagery that to me symbolizes coming out from behind the mask. So he does a lot of this and this. He covers his face a lot, but then he leaves a part of it like revealed, or yeah, that to me seems like coming out from behind the mask. I need to stop playing with this. So we talked about how Jun specifically changes from direct movement to indirect movement, and there's a pretty good like ebb and flow of that throughout. But looking at the choreo in general, I think that they last time we talked about the principles of movement and their use of time as well as their use of weight also ebbs and flows throughout, which I think is what keeps it engaging, it keeps it energized, and it keeps you wanting to focus on it. So one thing I noticed is that the choreo ebbs and flows between very like solid and rigid and steady movements with kind of more loose, unhinged, and unstable ones, which based on the theme of the song kind of connotes the instability of dealing with these kinds of thoughts going through your head. The instability that comes with feeling this way, because from the lyrics we can see that there's a lot of questioning, a lot of like rejecting certain principles. What those principles are is I'm a little bit uncertain as to what some of those are, just because the lyrics are a little vague, but the lyrics do kind of imply that there's a kind of rejection of principle or ideals that's going on, kind of like standards, and that Jun himself is fighting back against those and trying to convince himself and the audience that these standards, these ideals, whatever it is that he's specifically trying to fight against are all bullshit, or the way that society treats people who kind of come out, who show themselves for they really are, is just not it. Yeah, that's what I got from the lyrics. So that kind of ebb and flow of the choreo between very solid and rigid movements to more loose, kind of flowy ones makes sense. And I think what this performance does well is that a lot of the choices made really tie back to that central narrative. And I think the way that the choreo exemplifies that is with the backup dancers in particular, who did an incredible job, by the way. I mean, it's not super clear in the performance video just because the way the shots are framed tend to focus more on Jun rather than the performance as a whole. And I would have liked to see more shots of the whole choreo, backup dancers included. They're sprinkled in there, but yeah, I would have liked to see more of a focus. Anyways, yeah, so the dancers play a vital role in this, in the way that they portray the entity that Jun is trying to fight back against. I like to think of the backup dancers as kind of like their character is the voices in Jun's head, or the voices that are trying to control him. And so there's a lot of moments in the choreo where the dancers are doing something and then Jun reacts. But throughout the choreo, as the choreo progresses and the performance moves forward, Jun kind of learns to fight back. So yeah, I think narratively, the choreo does a great job of exemplifying the underlying message of the lyrics and the song itself. But yeah, I definitely recommend watching the dance practice because you do get to see more of those like little details, like the gestures that the dancers themselves do, and how that kind of correlates with Jun's movement and his performance. And yeah, just go watch the dance practice video, please. So now let's talk about the man of the hour. Jun's performance in this, just stellar. Hands down. Like, if I could give him a standing ovation, I would. He's so intentional and he's so committed to this character that he's built. Clearly very, very talented performer, but also a really talented actor. We talked about the laugh that he does, that like kind of like psycho laugh, and then like on a dime he changes to serious, and his gaze, the way he looks at the camera, very like, it's almost unsettling the way he looks at the camera, which is absolutely completely intentional, and it works for this so well. It draws you in, but you're also like on edge. It's spectacular. He absolutely went for it, and you could feel it. Okay, but real talk, was anybody else like a little bit bias wrecked by this video and Jun? Like, okay, last thing we're going to talk about is the camera movements, because I think the way this is directed in particular is really, really strong. The way the camera moves is very wild and kind of idiosyncratic, which again adds to that narrative of instability and kind of like breaking conventions, you know? I mentioned during my reaction that the dance break, the way that was shot made me feel a little bit uneasy. And I realized that obviously that's purposeful, but I realized it's because the camera movements had an almost voyeuristic lens. The camera movements were very sharp and jarring and fast, and like they were tracking Jun, and so it almost felt like a predator kind of stalking its prey. And that's just genius. That's genius camera direction, because it adds to that, to the overall narrative that we've been talking about, and it's like a little extra sprinkle of like, I'm trying to find the end of the sentence, but it's not coming. It's just like an extra little sprinkle of detail, and it adds so much, and it was really honestly like visceral. So props to the crew on this shoot, because that part was amazing. Overall, this was, again, a really, really effective performance video. Every single aspect of this video, just, it serves that narrative of the song, and it creates this really cool and kind of cohesive concept. Everything from the styling down to the camera motion, down to the edit, down to the tiniest gesture in the choreography, it all fits that narrative, and that's why it feels so cohesive. It feels like this was a performance that was meant to happen. I don't think it could have been done any other way. Like, everybody behind this performance just did such a spectacular job. Like I don't want to say I'm in awe, but I'm just like, this is the kind of work that I love to see. So yeah, props to Jun, props to choreographer, props to the entire crew and creative team behind this, because y'all did it. Y'all did it. Like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna cut it there, because if I say any more, I'm never gonna leave here, and I'm literally dying. So yeah, peace. Well, that was the video, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and for staying to the very end. This one was just spectacular. Like, Jun blew it out of the water. Him and his team they're doing such great work, and I appreciate him so much for it. I guess let me know what your favorite moment of the performance was. Mine was definitely that kind of like crash zoom when Jun was doing his little walk. I want to call it like a reverse moonwalk, but I'm not sure if that's accurate. Anyways, yeah, that moment is just like, that's gonna live with me. Like, that's gonna stay in my brain forever. Like, I'll never forget that. And also, let me know if there are any other performance videos that you'd like me to react to or just give my thoughts on. Leave those down below in the comments and maybe one day I'll react to it. So yeah, that's it for me. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button because it helps me out a lot, and I'll see you very soon with some more new content. Peace out. Anyways, take 3. 3. Where's my mouse? Anyways, what was I doing? Okay.